welcome to the Daily English News program in Azərbaycan Televiziya with the major developments of the day. I'm Gülər Hətamova. On February 25th, a high-level thematic debate was held under the motto galvanizing momentum for universal vaccination, convened by the President of the UN General Assembly. A statement and a video formed by President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham in his national capacity and as the chairman of the non-aligned movement on behalf of the member states of the movement was presented at the event.
I now invite members to view the pre-recorded statement of His Excellency Ilham Aliyev, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, on behalf of the non-aligned movement.
Mr. President, Mr. Secretary General, I have the honor to make this statement on behalf of the member states of the non-aligned movement. The member states of the non-aligned movement highly commend the initiative of the President of the General Assembly, Mr. Abdullah Shahid, to convene this high-level thematic debate on universal vaccination in combating COVID-19 pandemic. Today's meeting takes place amid the persisting challenges related to uneven access to quality, safe, effective, and affordable COVID-19 vaccines in the world. We highlight the fundamental role of the United Nations system in coordinating the global response to control and contain the spread of COVID-19 and in providing support to states. In this regard, we acknowledge the crucial leading role played by the World Health Organization. Since the beginning of the pandemic, NAM actively engaged in mobilizing the efforts of the wider international community in the spirit of multilateralism, cooperation, and solidarity to address the pandemic and its negative consequences through a number of successful undertakings. Such important initiatives as convening in December 2020 of the special session of the United Nations General Assembly in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, adoption in March and December of last year, respectively, by the Human Rights Council and the General Assembly of the resolutions titled Ensuring Equitable, Affordable, Timely and Universal Access for All Countries to Vaccines in Response to the COVID-19 Pandemic, were all put forward on behalf of NAM member states. A global emergency like the COVID-19 pandemic requires a global response. Yet, the low availability of COVID-19 vaccines in low and middle income countries proves that there is still much to be done in this respect. The disparity between developing countries and developed countries in terms of the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines prevents the entire international community from achieving the complete elimination of the pandemic as soon as possible. Moreover, it further hampers the progress in realization of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It's important to maintain the continued functioning of the health system and strengthening of primary health care in all relevant aspects necessary for an effective public health response to the pandemic. Measures in this regard should include, inter alia, ensuring the continuation of undisrupted vaccination programs with a view to achieving universal health coverage. We also welcome the efforts of countries which have donated COVID-19 vaccines and actively encourage further sharing of vaccine doses from all countries in a position to do so to low and middle income countries and other countries in need. In this context, we appreciate and support the works of COVAX facility and COVAX Advanced Market Commitment, including the COVAX Advanced Market Commitment Engagement, as well as other constructive related initiatives to ensure affordable, equitable, universal, and timely access to COVID-19 vaccines for all. Further, noting the challenging circumstances faced by United Nations peacekeepers, we welcome the efforts of countries for donating COVID-19 vaccines to UN peace operations. It's important that all states, international organizations, and relevant stakeholders commit to transparency in all matters relating to the production, distribution, and fair pricing of vaccines, in accordance with national and regional legal frameworks. Equally significant is that states take immediate steps to prevent speculation and undue export controls and stockpiling that may hinder affordable, timely, equitable, and universal access for all countries to COVID-19 vaccines. Ladies and gentlemen, the non-aligned movement stands ready to continue its active engagement in advancing international solidarity, which would allow the soonest possible elimination of the pandemic and effective recovery process. In this regard, our movement will come up with new, result-oriented initiatives on addressing post-COVID-19 recovery needs. Distinguished participants, now I would like to make the following statement in my national capacity. Azerbaijan continues to take solid and adequate measures against the COVID-19 to keep the pandemic under control. We launched an immunization campaign in January 2021. So far, 68% of the adult population in the country has received 2 shots. $1.6 billion of the financial assistance package to support COVID-affected people and businesses is allocated from the state budget for this year. Azerbaijan has undertaken important global initiatives to boost international solidarity against the pandemic and to counter vaccine nationalism and inequality between developing and developed countries in access to vaccines. The special session of UN General Assembly, resolutions on equitable and universal access to vaccines are vivid examples to that end. Taking this opportunity, I express our gratitude to all member states which supported these endeavors. As a sign of solidarity, Azerbaijan has provided financial and humanitarian assistance to about 80 countries directly and through World Health Organization in order to support their fight against the coronavirus. Furthermore, we have donated vaccines to 5 countries, and we will continue to do so. Presently, we are in the process of donating around 1 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines to 14 non-member states. We are currently working on convening another high-level meeting of the non-member states to exchange views and formulate the position of the movement concerning the post-COVID-19 period. We also advocate for establishing the UN High-Level Panel on Global Recovery from the COVID-19, which could prepare concrete recommendations on global measures. We count on your further support for our initiatives. In conclusion, I wish you a very successful meeting and fruitful deliberations.
I thank the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan for the statement.
President İlham Aliyev congratulated President of Turkey Recep Tayyip Erdogan on his birthday. In his congratulatory message, the head of state stressed that under the wise and visionary leadership of the president, Turkey today is a strong and powerful state that has made great strides in all areas and gained great influence on the international arena. You have played an indispensable role in elevating the Azerbaijani-Turkish relationship, which stems from the unshakable will of our two peoples and is based on the one nation, two states principle to the highest level it has reached today. Your unwavering efforts to strengthen our unity and alliance, your constant support for the restoration of the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan and the liberation of our lands have earned deep respect and reverence in our country. I avail myself of this opportunity to express my satisfaction with the ratification of the historic Shusha Declaration. This document opens a new page in Azerbaijani-Turkish strategic alliance and contributes to peace and security in the region. We are determined to further expand and diversify our cooperation and fruitful activities with brotherly Turkey, which are being enriched with a new constant day by day, the latest days. A special meeting of the Milli Meclis dedicated to the 30th anniversary of the Hocalı genocide was held. The meeting adopted a statement on the 30th anniversary of this tragedy. An appeal was made to the UN, the European Union, the CIS, the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe and other international organizations. These organizations are asked to recognize and condemn the Hocalı genocide and take the necessary measures to prevent such acts in the future in countries of the world. Chairman of the Milli Meclis, Sahiba Ghafarova, expressed confidence that sooner or later justice will prevail and the guilty will be punished. It was emphasized that as a result of the work done in the parliaments of a number of states, the Hocalı massacre was recognized as a genocide. A conference dedicated to the 30th anniversary of the Hocalı genocide was held. The conference was attended by Assistant to the President, Head of the Foreign Policy Department of the Presidential Administration, Hikmet Hacıyev, ambassadors of countries accredited in Azerbaijan and others. At the event, it was emphasized that many countries and international organizations have already adopted resolutions and decrees condemning the Hocalı genocide. Statements of the Hocalı genocide were made by 17 countries, 23 U.S. states, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and other international organizations. The official Baku revealed its position in regards to the tensions around Ukraine. Assistant to the President, Head of the Foreign Policy Department of the Presidential Administration, highlighted the importance of resolving the issues through dialogue. Meanwhile, works on bringing Azerbaijani citizens in Ukraine back to the motherland have kicked off. First and foremost, our citizens are advised to move to Moldova and Poland.
We are watching the events around Ukraine. The events around Ukraine are a matter of concern. Hikmet Hacıyev, Assistant to the President, Head of the Foreign Policy Department of the Presidential Administration, says that Azerbaijan's position is that it is very important to resolve this issue through political, diplomatic means and dialogue, guided by the norms and principles of international law. In this regard, achieving a ceasefire is one of the important fundamental steps. Azerbaijan has always been guided by the norms and principles of international law in international relations. Currently, works are underway to bring Azerbaijani citizens who moved to Moldova from Ukraine to the motherland. An investigation is underway to bring the citizens to Azerbaijan by air or bus. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs appealed to our citizens permanently or temporarily residing in Ukraine who visited the country for tourism or educational purposes to stay away from areas where military forces and facilities are concentrated, to stay at home or in a safe place, to refrain from traveling. It should be noted that Azerbaijani citizens facing serious threats can cross the border into Moldova by land through the Ukrainian border checkpoints with Moldova, Akhnitsa and Palanka. In addition, they can cross the border into Poland by land through the border checkpoints with Ukraine. Our citizens can get information about special cases by contacting the Embassy of Azerbaijan in Kiev 505000, the Honorary Consulate in Kharkov 7000531.
The letter of permanent representative of Azerbaijan to the UN, Yashar Aliyev, to the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of the Hocalı genocide has been circulated as an official document of the UN General Assembly and Security Council. The document refers to the genocide committed by the armed forces of Armenia on the night on February 25 to 26, 1992, and Hocalı emphasizes that in the event of any threat to the security welfare of this population's sovereignty and territorial integrity, Azerbaijan will be protected by all possible means in accordance with the Constitution, UN Charter and international law. That was all for the day. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye.